Welcome to Blue by 90. We are three dudes who talk maize and blue. We're your hosts. I'm Kalen, joined by Nate and Jack. And we watched Michigan's big win versus Illinois, 42-25. Guys, I think we got a lot to talk about with this game.
Huge win.
I mean, hey,
I was really excited.
Yeah, okay. I can feel
tons of joy.
I can feel the sarcasm.
I felt like Christmas. It was just awesome, man.
Christmas morning.
Christmas
opening
morning.
Up your package to a disappointment.
Oh my gosh.
Just a lump of coal.
Just a lump of coal.
Oh. No, I mean, let's try to be positive, right?
We'll start with the positive,
Let's
right?
start with positives. First half. Honestly,
great.
One of the big things that we were struggling with was coming out and starting fast. And we actually managed to do that, right? We came out and we looked solid, honestly, like right out the gate. I wasn't mad.
Controlled the line of scrimmage. Had a great run game to start. I love to see it when, I mean, like you were saying last week, where they started off with two good runs and they went into passing the ball and just kind of like killed that drive. Yeah. They just kept that run game going and just kept running it and ended up with a 29-yard touchdown run by Haskins.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that kid was actually had a pretty good game. I mean, he had 125 yards on 12 carries, 104 yards, 10.4 yards per attempt with a touchdown. I mean, I can't complain about that, right? A young guy finally got his shot and he delivered. And they almost like had him down and he like spun out of it and he kept running.
Yeah, broke some tackles.
So I was like, hey, maybe
I was impressed by him. I really expected nothing out of him.
Yeah.
I mean, especially coming in the season, we expected to be Turner, True Wilson, and Charbonnet, and I think Hassan Haskins was the most impressive running back of the day.
Yeah, so he's definitely established his spot, right?
Yeah.
Definitely ahead of Christian Turner.
Yeah, I mean, in whatever rotation they have going on, I think Haskins, after yesterday, is, top three.
Yeah, yeah, that's a fair assessment, I'd say.
Yeah, they did run the ball really well at the start.
Yeah.
Zach Charbonnet, guy's
he had
really
some
good.
great runs
yeah,
too.
he had some great runs.
I mean, he had 18 carries for 116 yards. I mean, I just think what I noticed the most today from previous games in the season is I feel like there was just the blocking at the line of scrimmage was great. Saw people getting downfield, creating blocks,
right?
So that the running backs can actually get through and gain some yardage.
They had some big plays too.
Awesome.
Yeah,
throwing the ball.
There were some
at the
explosive plays. Yeah,
yeah. When Patterson was able to get the ball to the wide receivers, they were able to get some yards after the catch. Ronnie Bell had a big 71-yard catch and run for down the field. So when we're getting the balls to wide receivers, it looks good.
Yeah, in that first half especially, even the play calling, I couldn't complain, right? It was one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, where he was like, hey, they can't stop the run. Let's just keep running it at them.
Right,
let's keep lining it up and moving quick, right? So, I got to give credit where credit is due on all fronts there, right? So, that was some good stuff.
There was also a positive. Glasgow went Super Saiyan mode.
Oh my god,
that was insane!
That was
insane,
crazy.
unreal.
That was awesome.
That was dope. Yeah, he literally just laid out fully, just bow, hit the ball.
You think about it, not looking at how the rest of the game went. That was a pretty critical moment. They needed that extra touchdown, pretty much.
Yeah,
set them up really well for that.
Yeah,
7
special
points.
teams. I wasn't mad. Special teams, for the most part, was in it, right? Especially on those blocks and some of those returns. I was like, hey.
Special teams defensively.
That's right.
Yeah,
for the
definitely.
most part. Yeah, on those angles.
Also, another positive.
Yeah.
Cam McGrone is a beast.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh, dude.
Even when Josh Rosen's healthy, just keep Cam
Just
McGrone
keep
in there.
Cam.
Holy crap. Did you see that? He had the quarterback in one hand and then just bop, bop, just popped out the ball. Oh, my God.
That was
I don't
sweet.
know how this guy wasn't starting at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, what was he doing before? Yeah, maybe he didn't know the defense as well or whatever, but now he's in and he looks great.
He was highly touted coming in as a high recruit. So I was pretty excited to finally see him come in, and when he did, he showed out. He's been showing out all season.
He's a stud muffin, dude.
Devin Bush Jr. That's what he is.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see it. But yeah, unfortunately, that's about all I got for the positives.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and move on to the negatives.
All right. Move this off here.
Woof. Second half, guys.
Started the second half. Shea fumbles the ball. Then they run the ball, and they lose a yard, and then they dump off into the flat. It's like, it's 3rd and 14. You got to get some routes downfield. They just dump it off. Just inaccurate ball. It was disgusting. It was like what we've seen all previous games. Gross.
Man. It's just what we've been saying with Patterson. It's just inconsistency. We saw him have a dime to Ronnie Bell where he could actually take it up the field. And then we see that where he throws it behind Tariq. And he had another one where he threw it behind DPJ where they had yards where they could gain. And, I mean, they can't do anything if we can't get them the ball.
Dude, these receivers are constantly having to adjust their bodies mid-air to catch a ball. It's just...
You're a Division I football quarterback, and you can't put the ball where it needs to be, you shouldn't be on the field.
Yeah.
Consistently, if you can't do it consistently, you shouldn't be on the field. There's no negative to bringing in any other quarterback at that point.
I'm with you, Jay.
Dude, Shea is not the guy.
He's not the guy.
I'm officially off the Shea train if there ever was
Give
one.
guys another opportunity.
But this just makes me think, like, how bad is Dylan McCaffrey and Joe Milton if you're keeping Shea in? Or how bad does he think they are? Like, what?
How is it that Florida puts in Trask
and it's like nothing ever happened?
Nothing ever happened. They
It's
look
like
great.
he's
They have
just
the
smooth.
guys prepared. I don't know what
You
the
see
deal
it with
is.
every other program in the country.
Yeah,
They put in their second string quarterback. USC, they were down to their third string guy, and he's launching balls downfield.
Dude, Illinois, we played them yesterday. They had their second string QB in. If they had Brandon Peters, it could have been a different ballgame.
Totally. I mean, even think of Ohio State in 2014, where Cardale Jones was the third string QB winning a national championship.
The greatest 3-game streak of any quarterback in college football.
Like, that's the level that you need to be thinking about your QB room, right? And so if your first guy isn't cutting it,
Boom, throw a second guy in.
give the second guy a shot, man. Especially against a team like Illinois. Right?
And even where we've seen McCaffrey come in, and it looks like a well-oiled machine. He looks comfortable, like everybody kind of like rallies around him.
Yeah.
Why not just put him in?
Yeah.
Even Joe Milton, he had a good game against. I mean, again, it was Rutgers, but he looked comfortable. He was throwing open receivers. Put him in.
My only thing with Dylan is he just needs to learn to slide. Dylan, just slide, and then you can actually play more than 2 games. But when he's running the offense, I'm like, okay, we're moving the ball. We look good. He can actually make throws. Like, he keeps the ball on reads, so he keeps the defense honest in that regard. Because Illinois, I mean, they were like, okay, this team, especially in the second half, they were like, okay, this team is just going to run the ball at us. Let's just stack the box and just blitz and make them beat us through the air because Shea can't throw the ball.
Can't.
And look how the second half went.
Yeah.
So it was, oh man, it was rough.
Gosh, dude. Think about it. This Illinois team lost to Eastern Michigan.
And they almost had a chance to come back and beat us. It was 28-25 at one point.
Yeah.
Like you said, if we didn't block that punt and then score a touchdown, they would have been up in the fourth quarter.
Oh man.
And there's a couple calls, just coaching calls. I'm literally screaming at the TV, going, "What is wrong?" 4th and 2, and they don't kick a field goal to try and like just make it a 2-possession game.
Right.
And then they end up
Right.
pretty. It's just
Did they end up scoring that drive or no?
So
They scored. They went 4th and 2,
First
and they
one.
scored a touchdown. The next time it was 4th and 2,
And
then they got stopped.
Yeah.
And it's just like, go for the field goal, man. You're up.
Yeah.
Like, just put some points on the board, close it out.
Oof, yeah.
Who's making these calls? What is this?
I also feel like they just straight up, they went in the locker room with so much momentum, and then they just gave up. Because when they came out, I think actually what it really was, they came out the second half, first play, fumble. And everybody was just like, oh, here we go
again.
There it is. We're all fumbling again. And then everyone just kind of got down. And I'm like, dude, this is where you guys as coaches need to pick your players up. And this is where your captains need to pick each other up and be like, hey, this game's not over. Let's go. Let's destroy this team and get out of here, right?
You know what they should have? They should, instead of like a turnover chain, there should be like a turnover-y like thing, right? And you give them like a large bucket of popcorn when they fumble the ball. And so when they're on the sidelines, they have to deal with the embarrassment of fumbling the ball with a whole stack of popcorn. Like, oh yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy right
Give him
there.
a clown mask.
Clown mask. Oh,
Fumbling
man.
the ball, man.
Yeah. Honestly, I think all these players should have a football and with them at all times and just be going to class, eating, whatever they're doing, getting dressed in the morning, you hold on to the football.
Yeah.
Just to like put it in your mind that it's like, I am not going to drop this bitch like next week at Penn State. Because, oh my gosh, there's nothing more frustrating than being like, oh gosh, I'm just done with the fumbles. Plus those announcers, oh, there's been however many fumbles this year. I was like, please stop telling me.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
I
guys wanna
could
see
not
a stat?
listen to both of those guys talking on the TV. They're like, Shea's actually been doing pretty good. It's like, what are you talking about, man? He's like not throwing accurate balls. He just fumbled. What are you?
You know, Shea Patterson is third in the country right now in fumbles.
Wow.
Who's
He's tied. He's tied for third just because two people are tied for first. Marvin Kinsey from Colorado State and Drew Pitt are tied for first. Drew Plitt from Ball State have 7 fumbles on the season. Shea has 6.
Oh gosh, that's the most demoralizing fact I've ever heard in my life.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Touch on this real quick. I know I was saying, for the most part, special teams was all right, but yeah, in the negative column, Quinn Nordine, man, just don't let him play anymore. I don't know you can put him in if it's
58-yard field goal.
Yeah, if it's just like one of those things where it's like, well, all we can do right now is kick a field goal, and
he's got the biggest leg.
Yeah, so put him in.
Yeah.
If it's something like that, go for it. But if it's a 35-yard field goal, I don't know what his deal is. He can't make it. He reminds me of oh man, what was that kid? That Florida State kicker who was like amazing. They were like, he's never missed a field goal ever, and then he like missed one in the national championship game.
Oh, and then his NFL career.
And then his NFL career, he like never made one ever again. That's what Quinn Nordine is like. He missed one, and now he just can't make them ever again.
It kind of reminds me of like those long drive competitions, where you have guys who are like driving the golf ball like 500 yards, but they can't even put it in the middle of the like the fairway or whatever that is, and it's like a huge.
I've got another stat I want to put out there. Michigan is has the 4th most fumbles as a team in college football.
Who's 1,
of
2,
D1.
and 3?
Colorado State is the worst, so that was the other quarterback. Florida is second, Kansas State, and then Michigan. We are 127th in the country.
I just wonder what do you think this team would look like if we weren't fumbling as much? Because a lot of times I think that destroys our momentum and destroys our,
I mean, I think even despite the fumbles, the offense still looks like a turd, right? It's just, even if they don't fumble the ball, they still can't move the ball.
And to give credit where it's due, first half they looked great. But yes, that's the only time where we're like, oh my god, this is actually working. Like, what is going on? Looks like we figured it out. And then the second half.
And we weren't doing anything crazy. We
were
just running the ball.
The O-line was picking up their blocks. Everybody was blocking. And then the running backs looked like they had a little more patience than they had before, waiting for holes to get open.
Hassan had a really good play where he literally put his hand behind
right on the lineman, and then just, boom, hit the gap.
So that was good to see. So, hey, I mean, I know I'm not huge on Jay Harbaugh, running back coach, but he's telling these guys to be patient out there and all this stuff. So sometimes, I mean, a broken clock is right once a day, so
That's
whatever.
Awesome.
But
oh, that's good.
Maybe he's like sitting there eating popcorn and eating it and goes like, hey, let's go. And he's like, it's like, here we go, like hitting hands and stuff like
He's
that.
got those clammy hands or something. It's like, oh shit, job's on the line today.
Oh no. Oh man. But I mean, you guys got like an overall grade or anything for the offense for yesterday?
Offense first half, I'm gonna give them an A. They looked comfortable. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna say the running game, A+. Shea, I just take him out of the game.
Yeah.
Take Shea out of the game.
Yeah.
Put somebody else in. I think McCaffrey manages the game much better than Shea does.
Yeah.
I think Milton, he probably can.
I don't see why you can't put in Joe for just a couple plays. Dude.
And we were up 28-7 in the second half, getting the ball. Is that not a great opportunity to put in another quarterback, especially when we have questions?
Yeah.
Like,
when you look at the rest of the season, do we think that we have an opportunity to win any of these games with Shea's play? No. So and he's just senior, right? Put in a guy who's going to be there next year, who's probably going to have the exact same productivity on the field.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, you guys are 100% right. I mean, in terms of
full game grade, I'm going to say B for the offense.
Yeah.
Offense, B. Defense, B+. Special teams.
Ooh.
No, what? Defense, B. I'm going to go B, B, B across the board.
I think you're being a little too nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna give the offense a C.
C's get degrees, man.
Yeah, I mean, C's get degrees.
They won the game with a C.
That's true.
I mean, like, it's just because the first half I'm like, hey, this was kind of an A-. It didn't pass as much as I want, but the run game was working and they were making stuff work. Second half, it just fell apart. And I'm like, dude, if we're just grading the second half, I might just give a D- because it was just enough to not get an F. So it kind of balances out. In terms of defense, I'm going to give the defense a B-. I mean, they were good, but they still let them in, right? And especially in the fourth quarter, they were starting to run crossing routes. All of a sudden, we didn't know what to do. QB pulls out the pocket. Oh gosh, what do I do, Don Brown? And QB runs for like 17 yards.
And that's for something I wish we had a little more. I mean, when there's a running threat, I feel like we need a little more zone cover. QB spy or something like that. Because I feel like when we're doing man, these wide receivers are running down the field and they're just taking the DBs with them. There's just a wide open area for them to get to the edge and just pick up some yards.
And the defense has had the same problem for years under Don Brown, right? The over pursuit of those defensive ends, and now there's just wide open field in front of the QB.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to close that pocket so that he
they
can't
escape anywhere.
So I mean, I'm giving B- to defense. Special teams, I'll give special teams B+, just because Graham Glasgow, what's his name? Jordan Glasgow.
Laid out.
Just laid
Superman.
out. Oh, dude, he was about to take
Jake
off.
McCurry almost had another
Jake
one,
McCurry,
too.
Yeah. So, I mean, special teams, hey, Chris Partridge has them going when they're on the defensive side of the ball.
Yes.
I think some of that offensive
If
play calling and whoever's making personnel decisions and putting Quinn Nordin in, that's where I go.
Quinn Nordin should not be on the field. I think Moody has proven himself to be a better kicker.
Yeah.
Just let him kick.
If they put Moody in to kick on that one that Quinn missed,
I think
we would have had 3 more points.
Yeah.
So
I think they looked at last week when he missed that like 27-yarder or something, and then just went like, "Well, let's put in Nordin." Which
well, I don't. Jim had said something where he's like, "I switch them off every
3
time."
points or 3 attempts or
Some
whatever.
BS.
An attempt adds up to.
And it's like, what are you talking about, Jim? Put the best guy in.
Yeah, it's like you're doing with Shea. You're like, why don't you just do the same thing with the quarterback position?
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
He's probably. I don't know what he told Quinn, but yeah, whatever. So, special teams, B+. So that's kind of where they're at for me. Nate, what do you got?
I got offense as a C-. I got defense as a C+, and I got special teams. Give them a B+. I would have, if they would have made that field goal, I'd be giving them an A. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I just.
Let's look at the rest of the season now. Okay. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad, man. I'm scared. I think honestly they'll go into Penn State, right? KJ Hamler is just gonna go off on them. It's gonna be 30-3. That's what I'm calling it. 30-3. Wow. They're gonna get murdered by Penn State.
I don't hate it.
I
hate Shea Patterson. Either put in a different quarterback, because we know Shea's going to be inconsistent. We know we're not going to beat Penn State with Shea as our quarterback.
Yeah.
The way he's playing and his inconsistency, just put in McCaffrey. Start him.
Start him.
McCaffrey.
Give the team some juice or something.
Yeah.
Well, Harbaugh's on the Shea ride or die train. Mm-hmm. He's going to the grave with Shea Patterson's duck fart arm, right? I mean, this is it. But, let's try to inject a little bit of positivity into this outlook for next week. Penn State beat Iowa 17-12. Not a crazy score, right? They didn't come in and beat them like an Ohio State would have, right? 42-3 or something. And we only beat Iowa 10-3. Pretty comparable, honestly, right?
Yeah, it is pretty comparable.
So, now, that being said, we are going to be at Penn State. We are going to be at night against a top-ranked team, right? This is Harbaugh's chance. This is why we hired him, right? We're paying him $7 million a year. This is where you earn your check, right?
Yeah.
What's his stats? He's 1-9 versus top 10 opponents, 0-7 as an underdog, 1-6 on the road against ranked opponents. This is literally his entire job is on the line at this game at Penn State. So if he's not it's Sunday. at 12:07. If Jim Harbaugh is not holding onto a football so he doesn't fumble and is watching film of Penn State right now, then we're going to lose. Because he should be watching 20 hours of film a day as far as I can tell. He needs to win this game or he's going to get fired.
I don't know. I don't think he gets fired. I think he quits before he gets fired.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but the outlook is not good.
It's not a good outlook right now.
Yeah. But I mean, here's the thing, right? Against Iowa, Penn State, I have to pull it up. Penn State's KJ Hamler didn't put up crazy numbers. He had, let me see if I can.
But I think of going off of,
KJ Hamler had 61 yards.
I just think they have those big plays where we're talking about, like, our defense over pursuing and stuff like that. I think they'll take advantage of that, and that's where they get their big plays, and I think that's where they're going to score their points.
Yeah, I mean, think their running back had, let me pull it up here again.
I just feel like Don Brown against that spread, he's just going to go, let's just keep doing man, and then just get burned.
Their running back had 102 yards, and then their QB had 52 yards rushing.
I mean, I hope Don Brown just remembers last time he went to Penn State.
I hope he does, man.
And he's just like, you know what?
We're not doing the same
this
thing.
This is not going to happen this time. I'm going to figure something out. And that's where I was listening to somebody else talking where they think Don Brown was just relying on the athletes that Michigan was getting, that he wasn't, normally getting at Boston College or wherever else he was at before. Yeah. And now he's actually trying to scheme a little bit, where like the Dr. Blitz is coming back, where he's actually preparing for offenses instead of just relying on the talent. I'm excited to see what he's got in store. I mean, I actually have I think there's a positive outlook for the defense and see what they can do.
Yeah.
With these challenges coming up, it's just the offense is like, I want to see what Don Brown's going to do. I want to see the game plan he's got, if he's prepared. And
the defense has its moments where it's not, performing that well, but I still feel like the defense is somewhat reliable, but the offense is just so bad.
And so, I mean, for my outlook for the game, I'm kind of like, if we can kind of contain the quarterback and stop the run, which the defense can usually do, we should have a fighting chance. But it's just the offense where, same old story, right? Can the offense score enough points?
Inconsistency where it's just,
there's
just less opportunity to be great on offense. We can be on there for 3 plays, and you can't put a drive together. We're on defense. You can, you have multiple attempts where they can just keep getting first downs, but you can also still have more opportunities to stop them on a different, set of downs. Where on the offense, if you're Shea Patterson, you're throwing a ball behind a guy and it's on 3rd down. All right, well you're SOL. Now you got to punt it away.
Yeah. So as long as Shea can, that's the other thing, man. When he was keeping the ball, I thought he looked scared. I thought he looked like he was scared to fumble. I thought he looked like he was scared of getting hit. And one thing you see on a lot of mobile QBs, they may be a little bit bigger than Shea. I think Shea's 5'10", 200 pounds. You see, Justin Fields is like
a monster,
230 or something like that. Jalen Hurts looks solid, right? He looks like a running back. So, I mean, Shea's a little smaller, so he gets lit up by a linebacker. It's not going to be pretty. But when he does keep the ball, he just looks like
he's skittish.
Yeah, and I'm like, you can't do that. So,
and just with Shea and things that you see in interviews, just when he's talking to people, he doesn't have that swagger that you see from a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah. Dude, when you hear Jalen talk after the game, you're like, dude, that guy is on a mission. Yeah. When you hear Shea talk after the game, you're like,
what?
What?
Yeah. What? Somebody let a student into Schembechler Hall.
It doesn't sound like, he just doesn't sound like a leader.
Yeah.
Which bothers me. You see all these other guys talking and they're fired up for their team, or they're, they look prepared. They seem ready to go. It's just Shea. I don't know. I just don't feel that confidence in him anymore.
Yeah, they got to come in tomorrow. They got to come in next week with some confidence, with some swagger, and they got to come in ready to bear down and be in a situation where maybe we're down by a couple points, and this crowd is screaming. Right, it's going to be really loud there, and we have to execute, pull together. This is what it's about being a team.
And you know what they're going to hear all week? Michigan has no shot at winning.
Yeah.
Why would you not come out fired up?
Yeah, why would you?
You got to come out fired up, be like, you know what? F all these guys.
Yeah.
And we're going to come out, we're going to hit them in their mouth, and we're going to win this game and shut everybody up.
Exactly. That's the attitude you want to have. Right. Dude, you should just go there and give the pregame speech.
Oh, man.
But, yeah. So, looking ahead at Penn State, doesn't look pretty on the surface. But just to try to have a positive outlook on it, I think we do have reasons that we could have a shot if we so choose.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, dude, Gaddis better be hyped up. This is
Yeah,
the whole team he's going back to.
For him.
Yeah.
He better put together a good game plan, and he better know what they're doing. I don't know what it is. I hope he comes out with a great game plan and just puts it on his old team.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm hoping the offensive line can just control the line of scrimmage, get that running game going, just like they did against Illinois.
When was he wide receivers coach there?
At Penn State?
Yeah. Saquon was there.
Was this
right?
2017 or was it 2016?
2016.
Yeah.
2016?
I think it was earlier on.
Okay. I wasn't sure if maybe he kind of like knew some of the personnel there or something, right? Because if he did, that would be a little insider knowledge.
It's possible, right? I think he might have recruited some of the guys who are like seniors now.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Something to keep in mind, I guess. So yeah, you're right though. Gaddis does need to come in fired up as well. That's his old team. That's his old boss. Why not show him up?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean that's all we got. I think looking forward, just looking at some of those other games, right? Michigan State. Whoa.
Wow.
Mm. 38-0 was the score.
They're gonna be trouble. I'm excited for that Wisconsin-Ohio State
They're
game.
legit.
Yeah.
I think that'll be like the first like real challenge for them, where we can see like, all right, this is a real opponent that they're like playing. Like, what's Wisconsin really about?
Yeah.
I mean, their O-line is just so dominant, and Jonathan Taylor, if he's got a hole, he's gone. So I'm excited to see how Ohio State handles that.
Dude, I hope they just crush Ohio State. Oh,
actually, Michigan State did a decent job stopping John Taylor.
I think he had like 90-some rushing yards.
Yeah, he had 80 yards.
Wow.
So
what did Cone have?
Cone had
He must have passed for a decent
negative 15 yards.
Well, no, passing.
Passing yards, he had 180.
Wow.
So they actually
I actually watch that game.
Defense was solid. Yeah. But, yeah, it looked like short yardage he was running. John Taylor average yards per attempt, 3.1. So
still, 38-0.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Jack, I'm going to hold you to it here. On Friday, you said, my upset prediction, Florida State over Clemson. Final score, Clemson 45, Florida State 14.
You know, you got to...
What stats were you looking at?
Pick some bad apples before you find a good one. I don't know. I was really going for something exciting, but hey, we got South Carolina over Georgia.
South Carolina over Georgia.
Yeah, hey, nobody would have picked that.
Yeah, no way.
Should have said that one. Damn.
Yeah.
Next time.
I didn't watch the Notre Dame, but Notre Dame squeaked it out. USC 30-27.
I'm gonna go back and watch that one.
Did you see that stuff with Brian Kelly on the field at the end?
No, what happened?
There was an onside kick, and he was like ran onto the field and was like telling his players to like move over, and they like kicked the ball. He was like on the field,
and Clay Helton was trying to get a flag for it, and it wasn't reviewable, but he was clearly on the field when they kicked that ball.
Yeah,
and like Brian Kelly was kind of like screwing around after the game. He's like, I was gonna go on there and field it myself, but blah da da da. Clay Helton was like, this is bullshit.
It was fun.
That's hilarious. Oh man, well. Around college football, crazy stuff going down.
Red River Showdown.
Red River. I didn't get to watch it. I recorded it. I'll probably watch it today, actually. But Oklahoma pulled it out.
Who do you think's going to win the Heisman this year? If you were to take a guess right now, based on everybody's play.
Looks good, man.
Yeah, Joe.
I mean, if he can light up, I think he's going to light up Alabama's defense because I don't think they've looked good this season. So I think he's going to have a big game against them, and I think he's kind of a lock for it. Their offense looks good, man. With him there, I mean, I think I looked up, he's like 22 of 24 against Florida yesterday. Something
That's
crazy
insane.
like that. Let me look this up so I don't sound like an asshole.
I feel like Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts.
What about Tua?
And Jonathan Taylor, right?
Tua. What do you mean?
I don't know. I'm just
Team Jalen. We're Team Jalen, man.
Tua's got 27 touchdowns, 1 interception.
I just don't like Tua.
Over 2,000 yards.
Not a fan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want him to win. I'm just saying.
I mean, he's good. We saw him live when we went down to that Tennessee game last year. I mean, he's no joke.
He was a stud.
I'm just like, I don't like him.
Oh, man.
Sorry, TT.
No, yeah. I
team
mean, other front runners are Jalen Hurts. Let me pull up his stats real quick. Jalen Hurts stats. Actually, I just said Jalen stats. They know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly.
He's got
Joe Burrow, 21 to 24, 293 yards, 3 touchdowns against Florida. A number 7 ranked Florida team.
Jalen's got 17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 1,700 yards. He's solid. Other front runners include Joe Burrow, like Jackie were saying, Sam Ehlinger, He's all right.
But they already got 2 losses now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not the best player. It's usually the best player on the best team.
Yeah.
So, whatever. It is what it is.
But yeah, we got Penn State. Game day will be there next week. Night game. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Not too excited about it.
Follow us on Instagram and Snap. Or we don't have a Snapchat.
Instagram, Facebook, Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts, Blue by 90 Podcast, Facebook. They say Facebook.
Yeah.
YouTube. Yep, follow us on there, YouTube. But yeah, go Blue. Beat Penn State.
Yeah, go Blue.
Go Blue.